celebrating innovation and excellence in wine tourism throughout the great wine regions in the world. Westgrow extended a call for applications across the province for wine producers and wineries to enter the esteemed Great Wine Capital's Best of Wine Tourism Awards 2023. This annual competition rewards the wineries in each of the Great Wine Capital's Global Network's member cities for their excellence in these 7 categories: accommodation, wine tourism restaurants, architecture and landscape, arts and culture, wine tourism services, sustainable wine tourism practice, and innovative wine tourism experience.
Westgrow's membership in the Great Wine Capitals Network on behalf of Cape Town and the Cape Winelands demonstrates our commitment to showcasing the beautiful wine tourism industry to the world. For the second year in a row, we have combined the Best of Wine Tourism Awards with the Ambassador Awards, and we have received a record number of submissions, 119 submissions in fact, and we congratulate all of the winners of the 7 categories as well as the Ambassador Awards. We look forward to a year of great partnering with all of you, and congratulations on your great achievement.
Meet Andre Morgenthal, a veteran in the South African wine tourism industry and the moderator of the Best of Wine Tourism Awards. Here are the winners of the 2023 awards. In the accommodation category, the winner is Babylon Storen. In wine tourism restaurants as well as arts and culture, the winner is Creation Wines. In architecture and landscape, as well as innovative wine tourism experiences, the winner is Weltevrede. For wine tourism services, the winner is Vergelegen. And the award for sustainable wine tourism practices goes to Bosman Hermanus.
The Great Wine Capitals is very important for the South African wine industry. We joined in 2001. The Best of Tourism Awards was actually conceived here in South Africa during an AGM. We tried to find something that we can hook wine tourism on that will add value to our members. Tourism is very important for our wine industry, and the Best of Wine Tourism Awards bring us onto a stage where we rub shoulders with some of the best wine tourism offerings in the world, whether it's architecture or a restaurant or landscaping. Such a privilege to have been profiled along with the best that the world has to offer in terms of wine tourism. So as the moderator or the chair of the judging panel, it was interesting for me to see this year the quality of the offering is exceptional. We've got absolutely world-class offerings in all categories, and then there's certain categories that are unique to South Africa compared to other industries in the world. The short-listed winners were often a 0.5 in terms of the difference in the rating, and there were usually 3 or 4 that were content. The judging started at 12 and we finished just before 5. This is not taken lightly. The judges are very professional. They are leaders in their field. They know what they're talking about. And the angle of the judging is about the integration of the wine tourism experience. But in the different categories, we're not looking only to the architecture. We encourage our judges to have a wine tasting experience, maybe go for a lunch if they've got time. In many cases, judges had to go a second time, not because of any reason, but it's so close that judges had to visit sometimes 2-3 times to make sure. I'm confident that the winners this year are worthy and we're proud of them. We've got some really authentic winners, very encouraging for us to see wineries that has really been trying hard to create something authentic and special and real. The value of the awards for our wineries is the access to other international winners between the Great Wine Capitals, where if winners are traveling, then we ask them to arrange a visit to the top wineries in California or Bordeaux or Spain or whatever. We open doors for people to go and see best practice and learn not only about winemaking, but maybe viticulture or cellar door experience. That being said, cellar door experience is one of the most important aspects for us, because that is the first port of call for a visitor. And we find that training is very, very important for the staff at the wineries that receive the international tourists. What's encouraging to see is that there's this public and private enterprise collaboration that is encouraging, because you've got private wineries and initiatives working together for the common good of the Western Cape destination management. And that is where the Great Wine Capitals tie everything together with the Best of Wine Tourism Awards. It is one platform where everybody can stand and talk wine tourism for South Africa.
In the accommodation category, Babylonstoren.
An award like this, it means so much for Babylonstoren, especially for our staff, just to show the hard work that we've put on and you bear the fruit from it. What makes us unique is that we are really focused on attention to detail and quality in everything that we do here, from the farm hotels rooms to the produce that we get from the garden and eat the food that we enjoy in our restaurants to the spa. All of our rooms have ensuite bathrooms, beautiful kitchens and glass cubes, from our farmhouse suites and our beautiful garden cottages that is in close access to the Babylonstoren famed garden. That's the heart of the farm. And then we also have the Fynbos cottages that's a little bit elevated from the garden, and you get a golf buggy when you stay there. It offers beautiful views of the mountains and the vineyards. There's also a Fynbos family house there. Guests love the attention to detail that they experience when they visit us, as well as that freedom of farm life, from rowing on the farm dam to picking fresh seasonal fruit from the orchards, to cycling through the vineyards, or to simply just go fishing with the little ones on the farm dam. And it offers you that opportunity to just ground yourself again and breathe. Thank you to the Best of Wine and Tourism Awards team for the recognition. It really means a lot to our team. Excited just to see what it means for tourism in South Africa, receiving awards like this and the recognition. It's a great boost for our team for every day's hard work. So we're really delighted, and especially for our staff, as I said, that just to bear the fruit of the hard work and what you put in, that you get something out. We are very grateful for this award, and we also look forward to see what it means for tourism as a whole in the Cape Winelands district. Thank you so much.
In wine tourism restaurants, as well as arts and culture, Creation Wines.
It's a real tribute to our team to win this award. We have such an incredibly diverse team, and the diversity of the team brings a wonderful collective intelligence. For us, wine is art, and we are also famous for our wine and food pairing. This, together with our beautiful art exhibitions, just complement each other. People are looking for really authentic and beautiful experiences, and we believe that we are showing them the culture of wine, art and food at Creation. Interesting at Creation is how we work with the community. One of the things that we did on this particular exhibition was we integrated the community into the project. For example, worked with the elders of Lombardy House to do the embroidery on the tapestries. We also worked with them to create beautiful installations in the garden. We recycled a lot of materials for Kathy Robbins' exhibition. Her exhibition is called Return to Nature, and she's a local artist in residence. Kathy Robbins' exhibition, Return to Nature, is all about working with nature. It's about listening to nature. And we have incorporated that into our menus, where we use local ingredients from our surroundings. So 80% of our ingredients come from within 80 kilometers of Creation. And this obviously also has a great economic impact on the community. No one could be more proud than JC and I of our team, our suppliers, our customers, and our stakeholders. We are so proud to have been awarded 2 awards for Great Wine Capitals, one for arts and culture and one for the Best Wine Tourism Restaurant. Art is a fantastic analogy for winemaking, considering the winemaker takes raw materials of nature and sculpts them into something. Although still composed of its basic parts, it's a greater sum. Art indeed. We also regard fine wine and food pairing as an art form. This ethos fits well within the practice of thematically combining our menus with our art exhibitions. We trust you will enjoy this gentle approach to listening to nature, the thoughtful contemplation of people, place, and the rich tapestry of our cultures. Creation is synonymous with innovation, with working with nature. Let us remain mindful that human kindness is surely the best form of nature. I would like to thank the visitors who come to Creation. A lot of the innovation comes from the wonderful feedback that we get from them, especially our team and all the other stakeholders, including the Western Cape government. Thank you so much for making this award possible for our region and for our country.
In architecture and landscape, as well as innovative wine tourism experiences. Weltevrede.
So it's a great privilege for us to win the Architecture and Landscape Award at Weltevrede. Weltevrede was started by my great-grandfather in 1912, so it was actually a very old building that was in a way renovated. So we pressed the refresh button after about 108 years. As you can see, the entrance to our tasting room, it's got a very particular shape. And that shape was inspired by shapes that existed already in our underground cellars. When you do the underground tours, you will see those shapes featuring in the concrete. They were broken open years ago. And you'll see that on our wine bottles as well, on the neck label of Weltevrede, also that shape of the egg. And in a way, it's challenging us to not only live with this amazing history that we have as a family wine estate, but also to challenge ourselves to be futuristic in our thinking. The egg shape is almost like birthing new ideas the whole time, and that was the symbolism behind it. So in the landscaping as well, in the gardens, you'll see the same shape. The message is that we want to create something authentic, very real, very raw, growing from the terroir. You'll see the stonework here from the stones of our terroir where our vineyards are rooted. In a way, mirror our end product, our Chardonnays, our Cap Classique, that is very real, very authentic, pure expression of that terroir. So I believe part of the success was the fact that we had this amazing small team of people working together who are locals, who are really rooted in our area as well, so they understood the context very well. But then also we brought 93-year-old vines from an existing vineyard and replanted them here as living statues. So these are vines that were originally planted by my great-grandfather in 1926. So they are here in almost like an open-air gallery in front of the Weltevrede tasting room. And together with that, we've used some indigenous plants as hedges. So Weltevrede is associated with Chardonnay and with Cap Classique. So we do 2 tours underground. The one is called Captivated by Cap Classique and the other one is called Captivated by Chardonnay. What makes this special is our purpose was to create something for the world. What can we offer at Weltevrede that is unique and innovative again? The tour we are in now is the one that's called Captivated by Chardonnay. Taking people through a philosophy of winemaking. Why are there different styles of Chardonnay existing in the world, and why do we pursue a specific style of Chardonnay? And then the last part, the deepest part of the underground cellar is really captivating, because then we dig into the history of winemaking in the world. How it came to the Cape, how our Jonker family was then grafted into the history of wine in the Cape. And I think that's the real fascinating part, is the DNA of the South African wine industry, how that formed with the early history of the Cape. And similarly, we have the one Captivated by Cap Classique. So there we go through the underground cellars and we see all these stacked bottles of Cap Classique in the making. We have a very special experience as well that we call Create Your Own. You get a bottle with the neck being freezed, the contents frozen, you do the degorgement, then you complete the whole bottle, put your label on, and then you can go home with your own completed bottle of Cap Classique. Partly why Weltevrede was nominated is because we really discovered something deep within ourselves, but deep within our terroir, deep within the hearts and souls of all the South Africans and the wine world at large.
In the wine tourism services category, Vergelegen.
Well, it's absolutely wonderful, and we're delighted to have won the Tourism Service Award. This obviously gives us huge validation that we are doing something right with a South African property. And I think the difference between many properties and what we're trying to do at Vergelegen is that whilst this is a service award, there's a big difference between service and hospitality. We focused this year and the last 2 years on creating an incredible hospitality experience. And the difference is that service really is a practical application, but hospitality is how you make people feel. And all the staff have been driven to make everyone coming onto this estate feel very, very special. And that is by our offering and the way we treat our guests who come through. Beautiful estate of this nature speaks for itself. However, we've had to put some things in place for guests and tourists. We have, for example, incredible environmental tours, eland breeding project, aquaca breeding projects, wonderful garden tours with a new horticultural team. And then, of course, in the tasting room itself, we've got this incredible room which no other tasting room has got, which is a vinotech. And instead of having all your library stock stored in the storage, gives the opportunity to guests to come through and buy a vintage, say for a child's birthday or a family friend's birthday. The vintages go back as far as 2001. And in the tasting room, we've launched our new rosé, which has provenance to the estate, Florence. And I think it's the first time on this estate that we've done something with provenance, and it's also catered to another market, which has just been fantastic. So absolutely delighted to have won this award, and it's all about the people, our people and the visitors, and we look forward to continuing the wonderful relationship. And it's not only about wine. What makes up the quality of the wine is also the experience that people have on these incredible estates around South Africa. So thank you and cheers.
And for sustainable wine tourism practices, Bosman Hermanus.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Westgrove for recognizing sustainable wine tourism practices as part of their Best of the Wine Tourism Awards. Been selected winner in this category, specifically the sustainable wine tourism part. Together with WOZA, Westgrove has a formidable influence in the tourism sector, and we are thankful for the work they do. Then, of course, I would like to thank the institutions dedicating to conserving the environment and supporting sustainable farming practices within the wine industry. Organizations such as the WWF and the Upper Yamil and Ardo Conservancy. These organizations work all year round to assist local communities to conserve the natural resources so that we can continue as a farm to benefit from food, water, and a healthy community. It's a tasting room, it's called the Frame House, and it's a light wood and iron structure designed to make a minimal impact on the environment. This beautiful tasting room, surrounded by fynbos, and this is also where we serve our wines to taste. We have delicious tapas-style food and other various activities such as hiking trails and sustainable-driven workshops. Because the world is changing, we can never assume that the things we have done in the past is adequate for the future. At Bosman Hermanus, we believe that our natural environment is integral to the sustainability of our community and that the responsibility for proactive care. Bosman Hermanus have 3 areas of focus: heritage, sustainability, and innovation. As vine growers for generations, we have a heritage of sustainability. But we also have a responsibility to future generations, and that's where innovation comes in. We are constantly looking at new ways to make our farm sustainable. Our land and the people are linked and rely on each other to survive. Yet, to strive, we need to regenerate. So we need to find new ways of conserving, and we also have to find ways to keep the progress rolling and improve on all fronts, and that's our passion. Our farm was recently awarded champion status underwritten by the WWF. These initiatives include clearing of alien plants to make sure there's enough water. For our cover crops on the farm planted in between the vineyards, we use mulch so that we can conserve the water and eliminate soil erosion. And then also our tasting room, we are focusing on sustainability, but we also have to work constantly towards creating products and innovation. So we use coffee sold in bamboo cups, while our workers earn extra cash by turning used wine bottles into drinking glasses. We also grow certain fynbos species commercially sold, and that funds go to our workers' community, and they're called plaasmessebosses. Promoting tourism to Bosman Hermanus directly impacts its shareholders, improving the lives of the existing employees and creating additional jobs in the region. Increased tourist numbers translate into increased investment in the conservation and regeneration of our environment. We have 520 families working on the farm. We've been farming for 8 generations, and we have to make sure that we farm sustainable for another 8 generations. Thank you.
Introducing the Wine Tourism Ambassador Awards, a celebration of culture and heritage through innovative efforts, promoting sustainability, conservation, and diversity in the wine tourism industry. Margie Beggs, owner and CEO of Specialized Tours and Events, shares her insights on the judging process and reveals the winners.
There was a time that the Ambassador Awards were the only awards in South Africa, and the reason is Cape Town was not a member of the Great Wine Capitals. However, when Cape Town joined again, we then found ourselves in a situation where there were two awards programs, the Best of Wine Tourism Awards and the Ambassador Awards program. And the Ambassador Awards program was attached to my conference, which is the Wine Tourism Conference. I got together with Westgrow and we agreed between us that we would attach the Ambassador Awards, which are attached to the Great Wine Capitals. So that's how it came about. However, there were some awards that belonged in both categories. We dropped those in the Ambassador Awards and kept them in the Best of Wine Tourism Awards. So we have three awards. They are Diversity, the Authentic South African Experience, and the WWF Award for Conservation Pioneers. Now, diversity is important in this country because of our history. That we need to move forward and we need to involve more people who were previously disadvantaged in this country in the wine tourism industry. So clearly, that's an area that we need to improve. Secondly, the Authentic South African Experience. Now, for too long, we've presented wine tourism in a way that is usually presented in other parts of the world. We don't have to stand back. We can present wine tourism exactly as it is here, as we are. Because we're great people, we're friendly people, and what we have to offer, the world wants to enjoy, and that's what we need to present. This award actually showcases what there is that is authentically South African, that is being presented, and hopefully it will encourage other players in the wine tourism industry to do just that. And then the third area is the WWF Conservation Pioneers Award. Now, what's really important about this is that conservation and sustainability is very important in the wine industry as a whole, but particularly also in wine tourism. But what we found is that we're not telling our visitors what we're doing. We're doing so much that's right, but we're not telling them what we're doing. So this particular award is also to present to those properties who are telling the world, this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it. We can feel that we don't have to stand back in the world. This award is such that we're presenting the WWF award to estates who are showing the world what they're doing from a sustainability point of view. Because what we are doing is fantastic. We're just not telling the world what it is. So that's why we have this amazing award. I must tell you that the Estelles, or a couple from America, they have sponsored this award through WWF, and we're extremely grateful to them because without that sponsorship, we would not be able to present this award. Thank you to the Estelles and thank you to WWF for presenting this, the WWF Conservation Pioneers Award.
The award for wine tourism diversity goes to Pardon Kloof Estate. The award for Authentic South African Experience goes to Plain Goederust. And the WWF Conservation Pioneer Award goes to Tanagra.
This year's winners are of an extremely high standard. The industry can be really proud of those who have been selected as winners in the Ambassador Awards this year. So I'd like to congratulate them because to be a winner in this category has not been easy this year.
The judging process includes expert judges facilitated by Andre Morgenthal. The Wine Tourism Ambassador Awards were moderated by Margie Biggs. And lastly, the roving judges completed the overall judging process. We congratulate the Best of Wine Tourism and Wine Tourism Ambassador Award winners of 2023.